Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 69 of the Final Fantasy VII Remake playthrough. You stole my joke. Damn it.
I
think everybody was thinking
make
at Lewis. I'm
this
sorry.
playthrough officially the longest one we've done on the channel? Because I think it was Twilight Princess before this, and that ended on exactly part 69. Nice.
No, wait. Final Fantasy IX was pretty long, wasn't it?
I don't think it was longer than Twilight Princess, though.
Some of our earlier playthroughs may have gone over this number of parts, but that would be because they had shorter parts back then. In any case, we're about to start the final battle. I'm going to switch Barrett back to his long-range mode, because, of course. But we're not going to be seeing much of Barrett, because my affection values, as usual, favor Tifa and Aerith.
You have to try to get Barrett in these fights.
Yeah, kind of. Well, Barrett does show up in the battle against the Whispers as a matter of course, but his participation in the Sephiroth battle is entirely contingent on you treating one or both of the ladies poorly.
And what, is Red 13 just going to be eating popcorn on the sidelines? Good job, guys. Like, you can do it.
He gets a few dramatic cutscene moments, and he does join in during part of the Whisper battle, I think. He helps Barrett shoot the giant Heartless down. You even get to see him sort of use Stardust Ray, which is interesting. But yeah.
Whispers are like, hey, aren't they supposed to leave Midgard now? I don't know. I'm all messed up at this point.
Kind of blocking the way.
I mean, theoretically, they've shown the ability to, like, pick them up and plop them out of places? Couldn't they just pick them up and drop them outside of Midgar? And then...
not with Sephiroth and Aerith magic being in the way.
There's also the fact that these characters have shown an ability to fight off the Whispers at need in the past.
These guys suck. They haven't been able to do anything.
This moment, I like this moment, where Barrett's actually hesitating. It's hard to describe, but I really like how at the end here they set Barrett up for, I guess you could say, bigger and better things in the future episode.
Barrett gets so many good moments in this game.
Yeah, it's like they kind of realized that he, along with several other cast members, were kind of underutilized in the original game, so they're working to make sure everyone gets their share of screen time, and I really like it. It's a bit unfortunate that because of the way this game is set up, you're probably not going to see Barrett in the final battle very much, but
I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, that's honestly the kind of thing that I wanted most out of this remake in the first place, is just more time for characters to exist and, like, stew and have moments like that. Like Sid, for example. Sid's really just kind of a grouchy old man in the original game, and he doesn't really do much other than yell at you and be an asshole.
And bleep a lot of censored curse words in your general direction, yeah.
Yeah, like, I can't really even remember anything relevant he did. Like, there was some stuff about the rocket.
He made your airship, and
like Barrett, he had his one storyline, and once that storyline was concluded, he sort of faded into obscurity. I would say Sid had more memorable moments after that point than Barrett did, but they were just
That's just because he's a louder... Well, I mean, they're both loud personalities, but Sid had funnier lines, I guess, is the big thing.
Some of them were the result of the localization. I'm pretty sure the swearing part was localization only for both characters.
That might depend on whether or not on how they speak in Japanese, because I know that there's the different politeness levels you can do.
To put this in perspective, Barrett was kind of a stoic, serious character in Japanese, and you can see that if you play the Reunion fan translation of Final Fantasy VII on PC. His lines and the general feel of them are a lot less Mr. T in Japanese. So.
It's just, I know this because Japan doesn't really have swears. They have, different levels of rudeness and politeness. And one of the only ways that you can convey with the same sort of tone in English of being, as rude as possible is swearing.
Yeah.
And I know this because there are instances where they don't try to do that and it sounds awful. One of the best instances I can think of is in Ace Attorney 6, where you have the prosecutor in that game, whose big thing is he's super nice to everybody except for you. But since this is Ace Attorney, and they don't want to say, anything worse than, damn, he just calls you like a filthy lawyer or, you know, like you're, or stuff like that and scum, when really, like, if you really wanted to sell this with the same sort of shock value you would get with this character in Japanese, like, honestly, yes, you would really just have him to be polite to everybody else, and then whenever you talk, he would have to be like, shut the fuck up, or sit your
Piece
ass
of shit.
or like sit your ass down or something like that. Like, that actually would get the same point across, but that would require Ace Attorney 6 having good writing, which it didn't have.
I was gonna say, I'm waiting for the backhanded sneer remark.
That comes with a problem, though, because if someone were actually speaking in English, it's highly unlikely that they would just suddenly start swearing up a storm around one person in particular. Now, I said this guy was like the giant Heartless from the beginning of Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, he kind of is.
All I think about is Dark Side.
That
That's
Dark Side,
immediately what I thought was
not
Dark
DC
Side.
Dark Side.
No, not that Dark Side.
This is literally the opening to Kingdom Hearts 1. So, all of my...
It's like, I know. It's very Final Fantasy, but not Final Fantasy VII.
I mean, it doesn't have like a defined shape. Like, in 30 minutes, if you ask me to describe how this thing looks, I'd say it's a big black smog monster. You know,
It's it kind of reminds me of the Giant of Babylon for DS.
What it reminds me of is the
Specifically.
goddamn Molded. It has the same sort of graphical effect on its body. It's just larger and glowier.
Oh, you know what? I do like the fact that they're bringing up how giant bosses like these can work in turn-based RPGs, but they don't really work in any other genre. Because in a turn-based RPG, you can stand on a floating platform and just swing your sword and it will hit somehow. But in an action game, it's like, how the hell do you even reach that?
Well, that's why you don't fight it directly. You fight the 3 primary colors instead. It's kind of interesting, this final boss, because like the boss against the giant Whisper and its 3 primary color servants is like a study in why a boss that works in turn-based doesn't work in action RPG. And then the final boss is just a fight against human-sized Sephiroth, and it's amazing and it works perfectly.
I mean,
The only interesting part of this fight is that the 3 things you're fighting are physical fighter, sword, and gun. Notice there is no staff.
Huh. You're right.
I mean, it's up in the air on what these three are supposed to be.
Yeah, so
I mean,
there's theories that they're original timeline versions of them trying to keep things in
Like
line.
Cloud,
but
Tifa, and Barrett, like
Yeah.
trying to stop you from changing fate. People are thinking they are Kadaj, Kazoo, and the other one, Laz. I think it was the other
Possible.
name.
I mean,
yeah.
that just sounds
From
like
Advent Children.
complete speculation.
It's all fan. Look, it's all fan wank.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. It's like it's nothing is solid on what these things, but people are having fun speculating. I don't know exactly what to make of these 3, but it is kind of interesting that one wields a sword, one wields a gun, and the other is
punching.
close combat. Yeah.
If they are the original timeline versions of ourselves, boy, have they leveled down.
I just don't get the point of making a giant boss monster and then specifically not fighting that boss monster, and instead fighting
Yeah.
the boss monster's tiny, weird friends.
But like, it's a serviceable enough boss fight. Like, it gets the job done, but it does feel a bit.
Not much more than
It
that.
feels
yeah.
less like a final boss and more like a mid-game boss.
Like, I know it's an anime as fuck RPG where things are, where physics and the law of gravity just outright thrown out the window minute 1. But it's like, for something this huge, like, how would you fight? How would you fight it with these characters?
I don't know, like up near the head.
Because as
maybe?
much as these guys do some cool shit, I don't think it's as extravagant as like they're no Kratos like going after Kronos in God of War.
I mean,
3,
this is
wasn't it?
also a
yeah.
brand new boss, so they could have made a boss for the
Right.
Whispers that wasn't 300 feet tall. Like, that's
Oh,
also
yeah, yeah,
an
I
option.
mean, obviously the solution is don't make.
They wanted to show off. That's it.
Yeah, like don't. The obvious solution is don't make a boss this big.
The other thing though is that like it's kind of a Final Fantasy tradition to have giant goddamn godlike bosses at the end, but we're not at the end. We're actually still pretty close to the beginning. So this
But
is
even
weird.
then, though, this thing, the size of the Arbiter of Fate easily trumps those of like Zeromus or...
It's way bigger than Necron. It's way bigger than...
We had a similar case to this in Final Fantasy already, which is probably why it's as big as it is. Omega Weapon in Dirge of Cerberus was pretty much the same goddamn thing, maybe bigger. And in that case,
aren't the
weapons supposed to be maybe not this size, but like pretty?
No,
damn
they're not
tall?
this huge. They're not. I mean, the thing that comes closest is Diamond Weapon, because Diamond Weapon towered.
Omega Weapon was specifically the weapon that was supposed to end the planet, so it was by far the largest. But we didn't fight Omega Weapon directly. Instead, we went inside of it and fought Vice and Hojo Vice or whatever. I forget the sequence of events.
Vojo, Heist. I don't know.
So,
like the weapons would come close, but not this big. Maybe Diamond. I'm not sure.
Like. Because I mean, this is basically Godzilla size, so
yeah.
I mean, it would be.
Although
hard.
That said, I think they may be saving like the fight against ginormous beings against the weapons, because I just remembered, you fought Titan in 15, and Titan was gargantuan.
What's the name of that boss in Final Fantasy 12 that has 3 million hit points or something stupid?
Yasmat.
How big is that?
It's not near.
Yasmat wasn't very big.
Okay.
Yeah, Yasmat was sizable.
He was kind of standard
size.
D&D dragon size. So nothing super crazy, but formidable.
He just had an obnoxious amount of HP.
Okay.
Thankfully, that boss is not quite as much of a headache in International. Still a headache, but
no. But still, you should not. HP sponges are never fun. No. I'm just gonna say that right now. HP sponges are just never fun as a boss mechanic or a boss idea. If the only viable strategy you have is just to max out your stats and just keep using the same attacks you've been doing before, that's a failure in boss design.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem with bosses that are intended to be fought at max level. I just have a problem when
not if the strategy boils down to the same attacks you were doing, only now it's doing max damage as opposed to standard damage.
Can I just call attention to that extremely awkward moment where the giant boss monster tried to crush us with his hand and didn't, and then the hand just hovered in the way, and I walked into it like it was a wall?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
They didn't actively attack you, though, so...
So was this the one you guys were saying you liked? Because this seems kind of lame.
No, Sephiroth.
No. It's what these three become afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll see them in a little bit.
Yeah, we're almost in.
Okay.
What they become afterwards?
Well, after we beat this phase, I believe.
What, the final phase against all three?
No.
Yeah. No, when it becomes Bahamut.
Yeah. Oh yes, that was a highlight. Yeah. But
yeah, because at this point I'm already done with these three guys. It's like
okay, we're done.
Kind of refighting.
But that phase really is just diet Bahamut. Like it's a weaker version of the actual Bahamut fight that you can fight later.
Yeah.
Like in the calls, yeah, sure. But like if for story progression, it's really nice to see Bahamut in some capacity in 7, because you don't fight Bahamut in 7.
You just get him
at all. You just got him as a materia summon.
I don't even remember how good as a summon he was.
He was pretty. I mean, for just big
Bahamut
damage.
in the thing about Bahamut is that he's technically non-elemental on top of being very powerful. So not only does he deal a lot of damage, but you're basically guaranteed to get that damage against any enemy. Which is what makes Bahamut a desirable summon in every game he's in.
I might be misremembering too, but I also think Mega Flare was also barrier piercing.
Advent Children.
Yeah, this is a bit lazy. They're showing you glimpses of possible futures, but since they didn't want to put the budget into like reanimating those things, they just played it MP4. Yeah, they took some clips from Advent Children and blurred them so you couldn't tell how worse the graphics were at the time. So,
but why is it doing that other than
because as the whispers die, some of the knowledge of the future those whispers hold transfers to the characters' minds, so that they.
And instead of like drop the bombshell, because Red 13 just said a glimpse of the future if we fail here today, which is like,
oh no,
so we're
the
trying
first
to prevent
glimpse we get is from Red 13's happy ending after the credits. Okay.
Yeah, this isn't happy.
And then there's another clip that's Cloud and Sephiroth jumping at each other from the prelude into Advent Children, which wasn't even a representation of anything that actually happened. They like the one relevance glimpse that we get of anything here is when Cloud sees a glimpse of some of the stuff from Advent Children that shows Aerith's death. Which
and then it shows a cutscene of Sephiroth being introduced to Smash Brothers, and he's just like, what?
Which is interesting.
Here.
Like, if characters caught a glimpse of Aerith's future death, pretty much all of them would be on board with stopping it, especially Tifa. Tifa, in particular, seems to show like a lot of desire to protect Aerith in this sequence of events, I think. So it's like I really wish they just handled this section more well, not
gracefully.
Bad. I wish they had handled it not bad, but they didn't.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the few low points of the game.
Like, conceptually, the Whispers, I'm on board with it. I'm on board with the whole changing the timeline thing. This boss fight, though, from a purely, like, design and presentation standpoint, like, there are things here that are interesting, but the overall effect is diminished by the things that aren't quite right. Also, in this boss fight, I learned that counter stance can counter from long distance, if the attack type is right, anyway. So, that's interesting. Like, Cloud will just...
amazing piece of music, though, playing in the background here. This is Arbiter of Fate Rebirth, which is basically just another mix of the Whisper theme, but this is my favorite variation of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying.
You gotta
not
play
to
the game.
be-
You gotta play. Oh, Matt, Ted, it's a commentary, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You're not
I'm
gonna
not.
be able
I
to
was
hear the
going to
music.
say earlier in the part, like, I'm trying not to be a wet blanket here, but it really does just sound like your generic, dramatic.
You have
final
to.
boss
You got it's
theme.
you absorb better when you're playing the game. You know, not in the
Part of
middle
what makes it go
commentary.
is the leitmotif, because it's a remix of an existing theme that you've heard throughout the game. So
It's very somber. Like there's something very sad.
now
about
I'm trying to deal damage while this guy is staggered, but every time I try, the frickin' other one just shoots his lasers and bombs at me.
It's almost
why you
like
go
you
for the
should
long
take
range
care of the
first.
ranged one first.
At least he had invincibility frames.
I managed to get it with Infinity's End, which it turns out is an extremely hard attack to stagger. So that's another thing that makes Infinity's End pretty good that I wasn't aware of until this boss fight. Replaying this for the commentary has been interesting because I've experimented with things in the gameplay that I passed over on my first play through the game. So I've learned a few things about the way the combat works, such as the actual uses of melee Barrett, which I didn't give much time of day during my first playthrough. But it turns out if you put in the time to actually try using it, it's pretty good. It's pretty useful in certain contexts. I can see it being even more useful in part 2, where we'll be able to hopefully like choose our party members more.
This can't be our future.
What do you mean we stop it?
This can't be our future. Yeah, it looks like a terrible movie, Tifa.
And doesn't Aerith already know all this stuff, though?
Yes, she
Aerith
does.
does. That was
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
Aerith
was
does.
Tifa saying that. So
Jesus Christ, they're still...
the fucking primary colors, man. Let's kill these fuckers. Now,
I love that Barrett is just as put up with them as I...
Cloud is saying, I say we split up, take them down at the same time, but that's like all that happens is Barrett go.
Oh wait, is this the edgy Cloud line? Yeah, there we go.
Oh my god.
He's trying so hard.
Yeah, all right, Cloud.
That's right out of a fan fiction. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I actually didn't like that one.
Yeah, it's very uncloud-like.
What?
Maybe that's the point. They're changing Destiny in order to curse more.
So it's on the inside of the, if the fan theories are true, is the red one on the inside going, was I ever this cringy?
Oh no, Cloud, you posted cringe. You're going to lose subscriber.
Okay.
Also hi Bahamut.
So yeah, primary colors Bahamut here. Add that to the ever-growing list of Final Fantasy VII Bahamut forms.
Happy Pride Month, everybody.
You know, Bahamut,
Well,
Bahamut Zero, Rainbow Bahamut.
We're short 4 colors for that, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's a thought that counts.
It's less than half enough thought to form a rainbow.
Okay, now I'm just thinking about Shinra's like Pride Month post or whatever. Like it's like Shinra is accepting of all diverse identities and orientations, and it's just like cool, great, like diversity program you've got.
Hey, they may make
Reeve.
monsters with Mako exposure and all that sort of thing, but have they ever discriminated based on your sexual identity?
Yeah, just like Reeve is just like, okay, I've got this program in place so that we're not going to make sure that we turn down anybody based on sexual orientation. And Hojo's just like, sweet, more test subjects. Thanks, bro.
That's kind of like when you open up a Sonic the Hedgehog instruction manual and see that Dr. Robotnik is a self-professed feminist. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
You want to enslave
We
us
here
all
at
equally.
Shinra Corp value human life above all else. Okay.
I like how...
All right there, man. Sure.
One thing you can do on New Game Plus is bring the Bahamut Summon into this fight.
Ah, yes.
Can you not
Which is
beat
pretty
Bahamut
fun.
before this point?
I think it's...
No, he's post-game.
I think it's technically possible to, if you manage to master all the magic materia by the end of the game, but you're extremely unlikely to.
Also, Bahamut, as a VR mission, is obscenely hard.
One of the reasons you're generally going to wait until a post-game to master the materia is that on top of the AP plus materia that doubles the AP growth of a single materia it's linked to, after you've beaten the game, all of your EXP, Gil, and AP gains are doubled across the board. So it actually becomes feasible to master the life materia, which I still haven't done, in spite of the fact that I've had it linked to AP plus since the moment I got that materia, and have not taken it off Cloud for the entire game.
Why do they come Bahamut though?
Fan
Like
service.
I love the fight. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a cool battle. I don't understand why they become Bahamut though.
It kind of goes down pretty quickly. Like, honestly, this fight I feel like has dragged a lot, and I feel like they would have been better off having like maybe one phase against the 3, and then having it go longer as Bahamut. You know,
It should have been just one phase against the 3, and then it became a Bahamut afterwards.
yeah, agreed.
They're trying to pull off those cinematic things that a lot of pure action games do, where there are phases to the boss fight that are bookended by cutscenes, and you're jumping around in an
Okay,
arena.
now fight him again.
Oh my God, really? Oh, Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
They go down pretty
Like-
fast at this point, though. They're already damaged, see? So...
You bring that up, Lewis. I was actually reminded of Bayonetta, looking at this giant guy.
yeah.
Like, and you were talking about how do you fight a boss that big as just one person. I'm like, I guess the final boss of Bayonetta 1 kind of fits, but that boss was also, like, trippy as hell, so, you know.
Well,
You know what's funny though? I think this thing is bigger than Jubileus.
the fucking giant statue bosses in Devil May Cry and Bayonetta were never fun, though, so...
Yeah, I didn't really...
I love the battle with Jubileus.
Yeah.
That's the one where, like, you had backward Super Mario Galaxy, right? Where you were walking on the inside of a sphere instead of the outside.
No, that was a different fight altogether.
Are you sure?
Oh, you mean you were inside? Yeah, but you don't climb the sphere though. You climb her.
Look, I played Bayonetta in, like, 2013. I barely remember.
Right. Yeah, you're mostly climbing the statue itself when she's stunned. You're not climbing the inside.
When are you on the inside of the sphere?
But you're always inside it because the battle takes place inside the sphere.
But you, like, start there and you have to climb on top of her? Or something?
After because she attacks you with her hair tendrils, and you can break those apart. And then after a while, she's stunned, and then you climb up the.
One thing I will say about this final battle against the Primary Colors gang is that although they go down pretty fast, they're also extremely pissed off. Like, they're way more aggressive in this phase than they were in the phases previous, which is a...
Okay, so, Cloud, which version of Whispermon did you get? Rubrin or Veridi?
None. I got Cornelio. No, I think
That one came out later.
Special Cercerio version where you get all 3 starting members of the party, Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett.
Right.
You get to see anime Rufus instead of generic Rufus.
They're totally just.
No. It wouldn't be Rufus Team Rocket. It'd be Reno and Root.
So you may be asking me at this point, Lewis, it's the final battle. Why aren't you using the 12 elixirs you have? Because I'm going to need them against Sephiroth. Trust me.
Honestly, they haven't looked that hard so far. Like,
Better use one.
No, it's chaotic because it's the numbers game. There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Just as much as you guys
but
are,
it also
so.
seems like the kind of thing where if you take down the range one first, it becomes a lot easier.
As long as you take down one of them.
The easiest one to take down is actually the melee one, because he's just easy to counter as Cloud. But it doesn't matter, because now Tifa has her limit break. And if she can pull that off when they're all close enough together, which I'm apparently not going to try to do. But but because your limit breaks tend to be... Oh, I think the red one got brushed by it anyway. But, like, yeah, we've got 3 minutes left, so these guys are going down pretty fast. Once you've taken one of them down, the other two become a lot easier to deal with.
Let's get one of them down. This one has no HP, and you're still swinging.
Well, don't you have to hit the knockdown one to damage the big dude?
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Barrett, we're counting on you.
Yeah,
He's been sitting in a corner charging up the spirit bomb the whole time?
Basically, yes.
Okay.
It's a combination attack. They were both using their limit
Yeah.
breaks. Hey, that's Advent Children.
Okay,
Again.
you see, even I could tell that was much lower quality.
You know what's funny? The moment I looked at that video clip, I looked at the hilt on Cloud's Buster Sword to see if it was Advent Children, and it is. It has the golden hilt.
You know, they could have just used the models that they already have in this game.
Man, I hope someone got fired for that continuity error.
In the future, Cloud, if you don't stop fate now, you will get into tacky gold plating.
No.
They
die.
could have
I can
just
help
used
that.
the models that they already had from this game and fucking, you know...
Just pose them in one sequence.
Yeah, just remake it. Yeah, just exactly.
It's a 2-second clip.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be hard.
I mean, I guess making a meteor would probably be fairly hard.
Well,
they made a meteor earlier.
Yeah, they
for the
Yeah.
They made a meteor for that one CGI, or did they? Was it just like a reddish cloud descending on the city? I don't know.
It's close enough they could have easily just used that.
Yeah. It's just weird. Well, the meteor from Advent...
They lost the source code to
The
the
meteor
meteor.
from Advent Children, you know, I can see that. You know, you don't get too good a look at that to say that it looks graphically bad, but still. The other stuff from Advent Children was a bit tacky. All right.
Okay, so that clip there I don't think means anything unless if you've played the original 7, the one
Well,
with...
sort of. It's...
Like, it implies
again,
something happens to Aerith and that there's a materia there, but...
Everyone knows Aerith dies, though, in the original. It's Darth Vader's Luke's father's twist.
Yeah, but, like,
so.
to Cloud, that doesn't mean anything, I guess, the thing is. It just means, like...
Well, here he's seen a similar clip of that, a similar vision of that earlier in the game, so he might have a decent idea of where it's going by this point. It was implied that he had subconscious knowledge of it earlier, even.
Yeah, you shed a tear over it.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Wait, what is Red 13 even doing?
You see all those?
He's just shouting.
You see all those red? You see all
Stardust
those
Ray.
red lines of light that are surrounding the giant heartless thing? Those are the Stardust Ray.
Okay, not knowing that, it just kind of looks like he's shouting.
Yeah.
And giving Barrett a pep talk.
He's sort of summoning magic from elsewhere.
Hey, it's good for morale.
But
Avalanche buddy.
we do at least get to wail on the Whisper Harbinger's face for a little bit.
You see, this is what I expect for an RPG final boss. Have its face conveniently close to our floating platform so we can whack it with our sword. Like, this is what RPGs are made out of, alright?
Actually, we're attacking its collarbone.
Well, it's dead now, so who cares?
One of many.
It's nothing but collarbones.
You see, they shouldn't have put that there because the fact that they note that your HP and MP are fully restored gives away the fact that there's going to be another boss. Like, they wouldn't say that if you didn't have another phase afterwards. It's like if you're playing any RPG and you think that it's a fake out final boss or
Check
a
your
fake out
stats,
boss,
yeah.
look and see if they give you XP and money. Because if they do, then you're not done. 9 times out of 10, you're usually gonna have to fight something else.
Yep.